Hey guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bytes, and it is June 10th, and it is 10:31 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, I can't really tell you that I'm bringing you Q because there has been no Q for today or for yesterday. So we have actually been caught up with Q because I think the last post was July 4th. Now, if there's anybody out there saying that Q has posted, they're lying, because there are a lot of people that have nothing better to do than to make up Q posts and claim that Q is posting. And the people that don't know how to go out and look at the HN board then fall for it. So Q has not posted since the 4th, I believe. Might even have been the 3rd, but I believe it was the 4th. And today is the 10th. Going into the 11th, because that's what happens after 10. Anyway, and of course after 10 p.m. my videos get a little odd, but I'm going to try and hold it together for you. I wanted to just update you and let you know, because I know if several days go by and I don't post, people worry and that I've been kicked off, whatever. So I just wanted to, touch base with y'all and bring you a few things that I found interesting and I think you will find interesting as well. Let's look at the first one. Just when I think I've heard it all. And this is from the Daily Caller, and it's pedophiles believe they should be part of the LGBT community. Well, do they really? Yes, apparently. Apparently they do. Pedophiles are rebranding themselves, kind of like repackaging themselves, like new packaging, like I don't know. Well, it didn't work out so well for Coke, but other brands have done that quite successfully. So this is what they're trying, the pedophiles, give themselves a better name, a better, that's what they're doing. They're rebranding themselves as MAPS, minor attracted persons. Now that sounds so much better than pedophile, doesn't it now? It almost, makes you feel like, I could just about be friends with a minor attracted person, not a pedophile. No, not a pedophile. I'm talking, a minor attracted person. It's not so bad. I could sit and drink tea with them, have some crumpets. But never a pedophile. Never. So this is part of the rebranding effort in an attempt to gain acceptance and be included into the LGBT community. Yeah. According to the Urban Dictionary, the blanket term MAP includes infantophiles. Have you ever heard that word? I have not. And that includes attraction to infants. No, not for mothers that are attracted to their own infants. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about people that get sexually turned on by babies. Yeah. So those are called infantophiles. And then there's the pedophiles, that's the prepubescent children. And then there's the hebephiles, and those are the pubescent children. And then there's the ectopophiles. I'm not sure that I pronounced that right, and you know what? I don't care, because that's not a word that I even want in my vocabulary. And that's the post-pubescent children. Some MAPs also refer to themselves as no-MAPs, or non-offending minor attracted persons. Yeah. And then these pedophiles seek to be part of the LGBT community, even going so far as to make a pride flag for Gay Pride Month. And isn't it pretty? It almost looks like something Kate Spade-ish. Yes. PSA to minors: if you see this pride flag anywhere, be warned. This flag is for MAPS, which stands for Minor Attracted Persons. This is a flag for pedophiles, just in case you didn't know. And The no map community tries to pull at people's heartstrings by claiming that pedophiles are misunderstood, marginalized people, and that as long as their attraction to children is not acted upon, or in some cases when they get permission from the child, like a child is capable of giving you permission to screw it. Give me a break. That they should not be villainized. So sites such as the Prevention Project claim to be aimed at helping children, posting quotes like the one below, reminiscent of testimonials of struggling gay youth under headlines like, "Everybody needs support." John was suicidal. He had been bullied by trolls on social media for most of his life for being different. The bullies were primarily people who claimed, based on their religious beliefs, that John was going to hell and deserved to die. They described how they would kill him on his Twitter page, and people supported their hate. Desperate for help, John sought treatment for his shame, depression, and suicidality. Although he was scared to share about himself with a stranger, he felt desperate for help, as he had no desire to harm anyone ever. Once he shared about his attraction to children, his therapist told him, "I don't treat sex offenders." Now, if that was me, I'd say, well, could you refer me to one? Anyway, I don't see how that's so tragic, but hey, that's just me. Many blogs exist on Tumblr showing support for MAPS, claiming that they should be part of the LGBT community and attempting to create safe spaces for these minor attracted persons. The blog, Pedophiles About Pedophilia, also presents many sob stories of marginalized pedophiles in pretty pastel colors, claiming that they mean no harm and just want to be loved like everyone else, as shown in such headlines as "Why Pedophilia and Pedophiles Are Not at Risk to Children," "Growing Up a Pedophile," and "How I Came Out as an Anti-Contact Pedophile to the Woman I Love." This name change seems to follow in the liberal trend of rebranding things by giving them more politically correct names. But is the next step really normalizing pedophilia? I would say yes, that's exactly where we're headed. So let's go back. And I'm going to come to this one because it is, oh no, this is the one that's related. Never mind, I always talk to myself. All right, here we are. It's the Creeper Act, H.R. 4655. Tell the Senate to pass the bill banning child sex dolls in America. And this is something we had discussed in the last video as well. There's a controversial bill in Congress right now known as the Creeper Act, which has already passed the House of Representatives and now sits idling in the Senate with the intention of banning child sex dolls and robotics from the sale or purchase in the United States of America. The bill, H.R. 4655, also known as the Creeper Act, is designed to outlaw the sale and purchase of dolls typically bought by perverse pedophiles to try and replicate sexual relationships with lifelike children-sized sex toys, which lawmakers have argued attempt to normalize sexual relationships between adults and children, something many Democrats seemingly believe is acceptable. The bill was first introduced into the House of Representatives in December of 2017 under the name the Creeper Act of 2017, or Curbing Realistic Exploitive Electronic Pedophilia Robot Act of 2017. Yeah, okay, well, I can't even say it. After the introduction, it was referred to the Subcommittee on Crime, Terrorism, Homeland Security, and Investigations by the Committee on the Judiciary in January of 2018. I must be getting really tired because I can't read. Representative Bob Goodlatte immediately condemned the perverse act of selling these types of robotics and dolls in the United States of America, and as chair of the House Committee of the Judiciary, he moved towards suspending the rules to pass the bill in June earlier this summer. The House of Representatives would then debate the bill on the floor of the House for 40 minutes, in which some radicals in America had argued that such a bill would limit freedoms of Americans, showcasing the desire to promote such horrendous acts. GOP Representative Goodlatte, when pushing to pass the bill to ban such illicit dolls, cited multiple reasons for the decision. There is a correlation between possession of these obscene dolls and robotics and possession of and participation in child pornography. The physical features and potentially the personalities of the robots are customizable or morphable and can resemble actual children. Some owners and makers of the robots have made their children interact with the robots as if the robots are members of the family. The robots can have settings that simulate rape. 5, the dolls and robotics not only lead to rape, but they make rape easier by teaching the rapist about how to overcome resistance and subdue the victim. For users and children exposed to their use, the dolls and robotics normalize submissiveness and normalize sex between adults and minors. 7, and as the Supreme Court has recognized, obscene material is often used as part of a method of seducing child victims. 8, the dolls and robots are intrinsically related to abuse of minors, and they cause the exploitation, objectification, abuse, and rape of minors. He also emphasized the fact that Amazon had recently banned the sale of such dolls on their platform, stating that the dolls cost from $10,000 upwards. Stop and let this sink in. Just who has a minimum of $10,000 to purchase such a doll to have sex with? I'll give you a hint, and it's usually those who scream the loudest. And then there is the infamous tweet by Peter Henry Fonda: "We should rip Barron Trump from his mother's arms and put him in a cage with pedophiles and see if his mother will stand up against the giant asshole she is married to. 90 million people in the streets on the same weekend in the country." Fuck. Pardon my French. So, yeah. And, what is this now? The resistance. Are child sex dolls a cure for pedophilia? No, they're not. And I think that I've gone into that enough at this point. And let's move on. Now, here is another one that is somewhat related. Come on. Sometimes you have to prime the hamsters. Okay, now this is pretty unpleasant, but I can understand why this woman did such a thing. Woman sets pedophile Muslim man on fire after catching him rape 7-year-old daughter. A woman has been arrested for dousing her husband with gasoline and setting him on fire after she caught him raping her 7-year-old daughter. 40-year-old Tatsania Hedman of Renton, Washington, said she wanted to burn her pedophile husband alive because shooting him was too nice, according to Renton police. Vincent Phillips, 52, was soaked in highly flammable fuel after he fell asleep in bed next to his wife. Investigators confirmed that he was then set on fire whilst he was sleeping. Phillips then fled the apartment and managed to drive his car down the street while still ablaze to a Skyway convenience store, screaming, "I'm on fire." People rushed over to put out the flames before he walked into the store and dropped to his knees, clearly in agony, begging, "Help me." CCTV footage captured the moment he entered the doors of the store. Customers looked on in shock as he looked severely burned. The store clerk called 911 and medics rushed Phillip to Harborview Medical Center for treatment of severe burns. A video was also recovered from the security camera at the local gas station where Ms. Hedman had bought gasoline just a few hours before the incident. She can be seen casually filling up a jerry can and placing it in the back of her pickup truck. Hedman has been arrested and is facing charges of assault and arson after she confessed to police that she set him alight after catching him raping her young child. According to police records, she told the arresting officers, "Shooting him would have been too nice. It would have been too nice, but would have been nice too, but it would have been too nice for him." Detectives say they are recommending Phillips is charged with first-degree child molestation. So that shows you the desperate acts of one mother. It sounds like the husband was not the husband of the child, but had probably married the woman when she already had a child. And this was her response. I think, honestly, if you talk to any mother that caught, well, any decent mother that caught someone with their 7-year-old child, I don't know. I don't think that they would even be responsible for what they would do at that point. But that isn't for me to decide. Okay, let's go back. Well, where did it go? Hang on. There we go. All right, now this is getting into a little bit of a different topic here. But I like it. This is kind of, I think, good news. If it passes. Come on, where are you? What is happening here? As long as you're ready to talk. Oh, that's from the last video. Okay, let me go back here. I don't know what happened. It's the first day with the new brain. Here we go. Okay. GOP bill would make first-time illegal border crossing a felony. Send sanctuary city funds to ICE. So, I'm not going to get into all of this. We don't have to read it. But basically, this, hang on here. This, if the GOP bill passes, the very first time there's an illegal border crossing, it's a felony. And they send sanctuary city funds to ICE. So if you're in a sanctuary city and you're caught and you're there illegally, well, that would have been the first time you were caught crossing the border. It would be a felony, and that city would lose its sanctuary money funds. It would go to ICE to help ICE. So I like that. I think it's a good idea. I hope it passes. I really do. Okay, I just wanted to throw that in there because I thought it was interesting. And here is something else, and I'm hearing mixed things on this, so I don't know. And I haven't had much time today to delve into the news. I know there's some other things I probably should report on, like the Supreme Court nomination, but to tell you the truth, I haven't looked into it. I haven't had the time to look into it to be able to even formulate what I think yet. So I will do that at a later time. But this, I'm sure you have probably heard in passing if you've been out there on the alt media sites. Witness prepared to identify 2 killers of Seth Rich. Now, I think this is interesting. Says disclaimer, this shocking information was given to the Gateway Pundit this weekend. We decided to report this news and will post an update following Tuesday's press conference. Now, today is Tuesday, but again, I'm a little bit out of the loop because I've been out of town until just several hours ago. So I haven't had the time to get into the news that deeply yet. But The Washington, D.C. lobbyist who has been on the hunt for Seth Rich's killer found a credible witness who will identify the two men he believes murdered the DNC staffer. Jack Berkman, a Washington-based attorney and lobbyist who has worked with a private investigation team to solve the Seth Rich murder mystery, told the Gateway Pundit that the witness has conclusive evidence that will bring Rich's killers to justice within a month. We believe that we've reached the beginning of the end of the Seth Rich murder investigation, Berkman told the Gateway Pundit in an exclusive interview Sunday. After 2 long, hard years of work, we have a witness who is prepared to identify the 2 killers of Seth Rich. One is reportedly a current DEA agent. The other is reportedly a current ATF agent. The witness, who fears for his life, will be accompanied by armed guards and disguise his identity as he details how 2 employees of the United States government killed Seth in a press conference slated for Tuesday. All press should attend my press conference Tuesday at 1 p.m. at the Holiday Inn Roslyn Key Bridge. We will present a witness who will bring us close to resolution in the Seth Rich case. Now, and that is Jack Berkman. Frank Whalen, a retired NYPD detective sergeant, NYPD, who served as the head of NYPD homicide for 23 years, found the witness, Berkman explained. We found him through working with a retired New York City detective who found him and brought him to us. We have thoroughly vetted this witness and we believe in this witness, he said. He has evidence that substantiates his claims and it will be revealed slowly. The witness is in great fear of his life. That's why we are going with disguising him, disguising his voice and everything about him. Berkman, who has viewed surveillance footage from the night Rich was killed, says the witness's testimony confirms 2 men involved in the shooting. What the witness says matches what the police say and matches what we know from the surveillance videos, he said. The police let me see the video. The police said the video clearly identifies the pant legs of 2 men. So there were 2 men involved in the killing that night. I now believe that in the next 3 to 4 weeks, the entire matter will be resolved. It's the beginning of the end. Now, and I'm not going to go through more of this because I think it will be more important to update after we've seen what happened at that press conference, because I am not aware yet of what happened. If you know, you can put it in the link below, but that's something that I'm going to have to get into tomorrow. Now, let's go back. And last, I am not even going to say, but not least, because when you see what it's about, I'm not going to say that. So let's just go there. All right. Now, Michelle Obama's doctor goes on record. I know what I saw. Dr. Rafael Espinoza, who was entrusted with former First Lady Michelle Obama's care during the 2008 presidential election, is speaking out about something he feels the public needs a definitive answer on. With all the talk about Ms. Obama once being a man, Espinoza felt he couldn't keep his mouth shut any longer. I know what I saw. Michelle Obama is not a woman who used to be a man. Michelle Obama is just a man with breast implants and a huge shaving bill. On the campaign trail, no medical staff were allowed to go near her other than to take vitals if she got sick, which she never did. I know what I know because I walked in on him, while he was taking a leak standing up at a bathroom in Trenton. They paid me millions for my silence. But after seeing what they did to this country, I can't keep quiet. Let them sue me. Sure, they will say, says Obama's spokesman Art Troubles. Whatever information the doctor has is privileged. Should he decide to trade his license and every dime he's ever made for a few minutes of fame, so be it. There was no direct denial of Dr. Espinoza's accusations. So what do you think about that? Well, I think all of us have always known that. I mean, her shoulders, just there's any number of reasons, but I think we all know that. But it would sure be nice if that did come out into the mainstream media. Now, let's go back and one more thing while we're talking about the Obamas. Let me read this to you, okay? Because I think you're going to find it every bit as fascinating as I do. Number one, these are the reasons that his birth certificate can't be real. Number one, back in 1961, people of color were called Negroes. So how can the Obama, quote, birth certificate state he is African American when the term wasn't even used at that time? Wow. Whoever did that is quite on the ball, because I would never have thought of that. I would never have thought of that. Anyway, number two. The birth certificate that the White House released lists Obama's birth as August 4th, 1961, and lists Barack Hussein Obama as his father. No big deal, right? At the time of Obama's birth, it also shows that his father is aged 25 years old, and that Obama's father was born in Kenya, East Africa. This wouldn't seem like anything of concern, except the fact that Kenya did not even exist until 1963, 2 whole years after Obama's birth and 27 years after his father's birth. How could Obama's father have been born in a country that did not yet exist? Up and until Kenya was formed in 1963, it was known as the British East Africa Protectorate. Check it below, and then it has a link to Wikipedia, but I know that because I used to love geography and studying places and all that, and I know that is a fact. So, number 3, on the birth certificate released by the White House, the listed place of birth is, I can't pronounce that, but it's Maternity and Gynecological Hospital. This cannot be, because the hospital in question in 1961 was called Kai Kalani. Hang on. The name did not change to the Maternity and Gynecological Hospital until 1978, when these two hospitals merged. How can this particular name of the hospital be on a birth certificate dated 1961 if this name had not been applied to it until 1978? And then it has a link below to that actual organization where the fact can be checked. Why hasn't this been discussed in the major media? Well, we know why. 4. Perhaps a clue comes from Obama's book on his father. He states how proud he is of his father fighting in World War II. I'm not a math genius, but I may need some help from you. Barack Obama's birth certificate says his father was 25 years old in 1961. When Obama was born, that should have put his father's date of birth approximately 1936. If my math holds honest, I did that without a calculator. Now we need a non-revised history book, one that hasn't been altered to satisfy the author's goals to verify that World War II was basically between 1939 and 1945. Just how many 3-year-olds fight in wars? Even in the latest stages of World War II, his father wouldn't have been more than 9 years old. Does that mean that Mr. Obama is a liar, or simply chooses to alter the facts to satisfy his imagination or political purposes? Now, you've just got to admit that that's some good stuff right there. I mean, that is some tasty, tasty nuggets. All right, I have one more thing to show you, and then I'll let you go. I got a kick out of this, so I just had to include it. Candidate misdeed comparison. On this side we have Hillary, and on this side we have Trump. So first we have leaked U.S. security secrets, and then Trump said mean things. Got people killed at Benghazi, said mean things. Corruptly rigged the primary, said mean things. Has multiple enemies die mysteriously, said mean things. So if you think hurt feelings are worse than death and corruption, vote for Hillary. I thought that was rather cute. I think that is it. Oh yes. This I thought was interesting too, so I grabbed it off of Twitter. Anyone hear from ISIS lately? Somehow, under the Obama administration, they managed to steal nearly all U.S. weapons in Iraq, take half the Middle East, and create their own caliphate. All of a sudden, under Trump, they vanished. Suspicious? Yeah. Well, we all know what happened. It's pretty evident to us that have been following all this. So anyway, that's it for that. And I'm going to be out most of the day tomorrow because I have another trip to the city. But I will try to post in the evening. And if not, I will be posting first thing the next day. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I hope that you stay safe and sleep well.